Hey friends, I was traveling last week, so I thought we'd go through what I packed and what I worked on. I'm Cadence Kidwell here at Fuzzy Goat in downtown Thomasville, Georgia, where it is finally chilly this November 1st. And so we're super thrilled about that. And I'm going to show you what I took with me in case it helps you with your travel or just your projects. I went to Maine, and then we took a little road trip over to Quebec. Going through the border was super easy, really fun, lots of beautiful colors. It was colder than I expected and very rainy, so I came back with a little bit of a cold. More than worth it. This is the sweater I wore most often on repeat. It was my warmest sweater because it's color work, so it has like 2 layers. Without even having a t-shirt on underneath it, which I did most of the days. This is Here Comes the Sun, which was perfect for a dreary day. Really, made me feel kind of bright and lively. And I made it out of our Queen City Yarns Latta Classic, which is a sport weight. Melissa's working on hers. And I just love wearing this sweater. I can't even count how many times I've worn it now. And so it just makes me really happy, and I just love everything about it, and the yarn, just the pattern and the yarn. It's a perfect combination. So this is the backpack that I took with me on the trip. This is our Ori Richmond backpack. I have taken out my water bottles and my hand sanitizer and my snacks and all that stuff, but I've left my knitting things in here to show you what I did. Okay, so this is my, and I did take too many projects, if there is such a thing. There is one that never got any attention. Mr. Fuzzy Goat thought that was really funny when I said, I think that one's mad that I brought it and gave it no attention. Because the other 3 were super fun. So actually I want to show you what I call my purse first. So voila, let me get this out. This is my Ori. I have I have a orange Paddington crossbody that I love. Nothing in the world wrong with it. I've even washed it. I've probably used it for 4 years, and it's been perfectly fine. I call it the clown car of purses, and I'll show you why I'm kind of struggling with this in just a second. But for the trip, I wanted a new one. So I got this blue version, and I'm super happy with it. I have my little portable hand sanitizers on the outside, because it's the pocket. I have a big phone. The pocket's a little bit too big too small for my phone. So I have my hand sanitizer and my emergency vitamins and cold stuff in there. And then, the reason I'm struggling is I actually have a knitting project in here too, which I don't normally do in my purse. But before I get to that, I have my Ori London Wallet. And I particularly love this one, and I see that we have a few because it has a yellow lining. Again, there was nothing wrong with my other Ori London one. And you would think this wallet is too small. I used to have a big one with a checkbook. I can't tell. All those checks did was get ratty. I can't tell you the last time I wrote a check, but I have a folded up one in here in case I need to do that. And, don't want one of my lovely vendors to get a, that I'm buying from locally, have credit card fees, so I'll use that. But it has 3 dividers in there, and I just love this little wallet. So just to show you that I am using what we have here. In fact, some of these things I used first and then found about how to carry them in the store. But I had this snack bag shoved in here. And part of the reason it's not quite folding up right is because it's a multi-page pattern. So I brought our Come Together snack bag. Let me get that out of the way. And this is a new project I haven't shown you yet. this is the Lisboa scarf. I wanted a one skein project that I could throw in that bag, and I could use it when we did some hop on hop off buses. We did other things where I couldn't. Sometimes I would put a bigger project in Mr. Fuzzy Goat's Ori backpack, but I didn't want to take advantage of that. So I wanted a one skein project, and don't let this scare you. It is multi-pages, which is why it doesn't fit up quite so much into my Paddington as I'd like. But it's the Lisboa scarf. I do wish she would smile. So we'll just look at this. That picture doesn't do it justice. And when we have it done, it will do it better justice. It's like a Sophie scarf, but with brioche. So I've been having fun with brioche. I've knit brioche for many years, but I haven't done a project in a while. I've been doing so many sweaters. So here I wanted the one skein. I'm using our Uncommon Threads Posh, which just feels delightful, and you can see my pattern. I have never done one color brioche before. So this is super fun. I always like to try to learn at least one new thing in my knitting life with each project. And I will confess, yes, this hole here is supposed to be there. That's a bigger increase than in most of the other ones. I will tell you, I started this 2 weeks ago on a Saturday. While we were still open, I thought, oh man, let's see if I can figure this out. And I probably got this, anyway, I have restarted, God, I don't know, 10 times. Don't let restarts make you throw the project in the corner. I have this old school marker on there, which we actually carry, and I'll show you those in a moment, because of the way they had you start the pattern on and put it on each one on a marker that you would then knit off of. It was a little tricky at the beginning, but if you just follow the directions and be willing to try and try again, you get this really pretty. I can see why she wanted you to do it that way, because you have this nice curve that goes that way and then another curve that goes that way if you do it right. Brioche is tricky. I have not mastered how to drop down and fix your mistake. I can maybe in the very next row, but beyond that, I've got to back up. This is definitely pushes that limit of like what is good enough. So like if you find that you have something that is, I don't know if I have one right now, because there was one that was maybe 3 rows down and something wasn't right. The line was going the wrong way. And I'm like, yep, that's going to bug me. So I went back those rows. Also, I'm not going to wet block this at all because it has superwash in it and it will lose this fabulous texture. I might steam it at best because I want to keep all that in there. So yeah, there we go. So this is the Lisboa scarf, and it is one skein, and I'm not to the part where I'll start decreasing yet. So I'm loving that. So that was in my project, and I fit it in my purse, and I carried that around with me. So that was really fun to do that. Okay, so other things I brought with me. Oh, let me just say, I was using Interchangeables on there. I am so embarrassed. I've had a yarn shop for 11 years. I've been knitting for decades. I did have a set of Interchangeables before I had the store. Beautiful, handcrafted, everything. They didn't really work all that great because they were like a one-off kind of thing. But because my gauge is so small, since I have to use such a small needle, I really hadn't found any Interchangeables that work for me, so I hadn't used them. So Kim came in and said, can you get her the 0s and 1s in the 4-inch interchangeable? And I'm like, oh my gosh, they make those? I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. So I like a longer needle. So I got the 5-inch interchangeables and the 0s and the 1s. I don't think we have them in the up in the online shop yet, because I'm not sure anybody else wants ones that small. But if you do, let us know. And Interchangeables, oh my gosh, traveling with them, I'm just like, oh my God, I've been talking about them and the benefits of them for years, but I never actually use them because, and their team uses them, they're all great, but because I use such tiny needles, the sock ones do go that small, but I'm not making small little circumference things. I'm making sweaters, so I want like a long needle. Anyway, I have figured that out. Loved my Interchangeables. Made all the difference. Okay, so let's see. I also brought my rechargeable neck light. We have them in new colors, which is super fun. So I snagged one of these blue ones for myself. This was great when the airline took the, they make the cabin all dark. And sometimes you want to reach up and turn your light on, but it's a little bit too far away. And then it like does this weird angle where it really goes into, your seatmate's eyes and stuff like that. These are perfect because it just right where you need it. So I'm really loving this new blue color, and we have a lilac and black in addition to white. All right, let's see what else I got in here. I always carry, and you can see this is very beat up. I don't even know what good it would do, but this is my self-addressed stamped envelope in case TSA, God bless them, working on these furloughs, in case they decide they need to take my needles. I've never even had them look at my needles, but in case they do, I've got an envelope that they can use to hopefully put the needles in instead. It's kind of like bringing an umbrella. I don't want to run that down. Okay, so I have that in there. I'm going to get to that in just a minute, but I want to show you what I use. Well, two things. No, I'm going to do this first. This is basically my Notion bag. This is our Erin Flett Clam Shell, and I'm going to talk about clown cars. I'm going to show you how much I get in there. This is my travel Notion bag, not my at-home Notion bag, not my go back and forth to the store car trip Notion bag. This is my airplane Notion bag, for which I pillage from the regular Notion bag. Okay. I have my hand balm in there. I like the roll-up one. Melissa likes the tin. So I like the roll-up one. And since we spent so much time also in the car, in the rental car on our trip, every time I use this, Mr. Fuzzy Goat's like, oh my gosh, I want some of that. So, it just smells so good. Okay, so I have that in here. I have my Dreambox, which holds all of my wood and metal Dreambox, which holds my stitch markers in there. And so I've got that in there in case I lose one. You know, I've got my projects all loaded up, but I put in several spare I don't bring all my stitch markers, but I put in several spare stitch markers of the kind I'm using because inevitably, and yes, I know that there is one on American Flight, whatever, has one of my stitch markers right now. It also fits a roll of highlighter tape. I would not go anywhere without that. I see that I have an Erin tapestry needle. I got to find its little case because it's just flying around in there. It has a handy tool, although every one of my projects has a handy tool in it because that's also something that might get lost in the seat. And because I use such small needles, these are my best stitch stoppers. Are the cables like that, but I also have some cute ones on there too, and I'll put two ends into one, but I don't want to lose those on the plane. This wouldn't break my heart as much, and so we have these in packages of 6. And then I have try-on tubing, or no, I'm sorry, this is not try-on tubing. This is circular stitch holders, and I was at one point in a sweater where I thought I might get to where I needed to separate for sleeves, and my sleeves were going to go on this. More on that later. I'll show you that in a minute. So all that, fits in there. And my old school locking stitch markers were in there too. So we sometimes you just need that good old plastic stitch marker. This one is marking my right side, and we have some cute ones for that. But because I had to use it, I wanted that thicker end for what they were having me do at the beginning of the brioche. I used these, and I just, for space saving, I just continued to use that too to mark the front of my project too, so I knew which row was which in the brioche. I'm having so much fun with the brioche. Let me say we opened up registration for our next retreat. We're going to do another one in the spring. What kind of spring? It'll be spring, close to spring here. It's February 27th through March 1st. It won't be hot. It'll be lovely. We have the Paxton booked, and we're going to focus on brioche. None of us are brioche experts, but we're going to be adventurous brioche together. We're going to do it on bulky, and we have Alicia of Knitwise Fibers coming too. So we've got a few seats left. Let me show you what else is happening here in my bag. And let's see. Okay. I've got... my other projects. Okay, so this is one I started last night. Oh, okay, so speaking of the separating for sleeves, let me show you that project. This is Halloo, and I had it in my Billy bag, which squished down really great. And it is now on the circular stitch holder because it is time for me to decide if I am ready to separate for sleeves. This is the time in the sweater where I feel like it is gigantic. It is oversized, but it is still feeling super huge. And Melissa every time calms me down and says, that's because it is at its widest. And not only is it like that, but this part here for this, you know, this is my top of my sleeve. It doesn't just drape like this. It also comes down in here too. So, right. But every time I'm like, oh my God, I made the wrong size, all this work, but it is now ready to separate for sleeves. So I can see that. This is Hallou, and I am using some yarn I got in our last clear out sale. And I love this pattern. It's my second one. So I did all the little baubles and everything on the airplane. So, and yes, one of the stitch markers dividing those is what's in the plane somewhere. Very sad. But that fit in here, and so that was traveling around with me, and I got that one. And let's see, what else have I got in here? That's my new one. I'm going to show you my new one, but I'll show you that one in a second. And then this one was great in the car. I don't think I worked on this one in the plane, but this is my Candelaria blouse. So highlighter tape, even though my highlighter tape's on here, I brought a roll just in case, because there's no way I could do this chart without it. And yes, there were some yarn shops I went to, but they don't all carry highlighter tape. But this is the Candelaria blouse, and I am doing that in Posh Cocoon and, Uncommon Thread Cocoon, which is the fluffy, beautiful orangey red, and then Uncommon Thread Posh, which is the solid color, and I am loving the way the color is showing up and how that's working out. And it's really interesting because the front and back is smaller. That section there is smaller than the sleeve section. Isn't that interesting? How it goes like that? I can't figure that out. Yeah. So that's a lot of fun that's going on with that. So these are the, and I do like to coordinate my projects with my bags as much as possible. So those were the 3 projects I brought with me: the Hallou, the Lisbo brioche scarf, and the Candelaria blouse. Nothing super easy, but still, I'm still having fun with it, and they were in enough stages. Then Melissa and I had great restraint in not getting this started until I came back. So just this week have I cast on for the Professor Suzanne Simard's Forestry waistcoat. Let me see if I can get a better picture. I will be much obliged when we can show you a better picture. She's wearing a blue shirt or a gray shirt underneath the gray vest. So it's easy to think it's a cardigan, which you could do, but it is a vest, which is perfect for around here. And I am doing mine in the red that Melissa used for her woodland. And mine's going to be red and then white. And it's pheno and it's steeped. And we blew the chart up because there was no way. So we now have the chart this big because I wasn't going to be able to work off of that chart. This reminds me of cross stitch I used to do in the very early 80s. It was beautiful. I don't think I ever finished it. I will finish this because I can't wait to wear it. What I also wanted to say about my Hallou is now that I am almost ready to, now that I'm going to split for sleeves, I'm going to go back to the knitting machine. I haven't had the knitting machine out since I had my hip surgery. So I stopped playing with that, and I got busy making sure the store was ready for the holiday season and, all the ordering, all that stuff. And I hadn't actually done anything with the knitting machine. And I'm going to go back to it because the Hallou, now that I've done all this part and all this body and there's no color work or anything down in the bottom, will be perfect for knitting flat, the front and the back. So stay tuned for that. I'm super excited about figuring that out so I could do all that. If I had had space in the car, I would have brought, or in my luggage really, because we did spend time in the car, I would have brought my pattern seat. We now have we have a handful. I see some up front. This is the color that I have, this turquoise, and it sits on the arm of my chair at home, which is great because I just have a little table over here. It sits on the arm of my chair, and there's my pattern, and I can just work off of it. And I'm super happy about that. And I meant to bring one over here, and I didn't, but we love to travel with a tea towel, and Jenny just made us tea towels out of our Billy fabric. So I'll have the link up for that. But she also made these pillows, just a handful. I mean, really, like 2 of each. So this is the lumbar size with this velvet. And look, it's got the label on the back that says Fuzzy Goat, Thomasville. And then this really beautiful 22-inch. So if you want a little bit of Fuzzy Goat in your house, Jenny has handcrafted these. Beautiful. They have a zipper. They open up. The insert is included. And so, you know, those things cost an arm and a leg as it is. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm going to put the links up. And we're here to help you with your patterns, and really glad to just start the festive holiday season this November 1st. November 1st.